trying to get my Zoom muted up so that the folks that want to, but it hasn't happened yet. Technology, that we have technology that I can actually say, and you guys, oh my goodness. Good morning, Rebecca. Hi, Montana. I'm excited about this morning's readings. September. Joining. So excited. Missy, good morning. Renee, oh my goodness, look at all these wonderful people that's on here. All my favorites. You're all my favorites. And you're beautiful. Okay, here we are. We're ready to go. David, you're beautiful too.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Psalms, Isaiah 45 through 48. So, I think every single person that is listening to my voice has been directed by God to do something. I believe that with everything in me, that God doesn't just create us just to sit here and to allow the years to go by without a purpose. I think every last one of us has a purpose that is a God-given purpose. And when we don't fulfill that purpose, that is when we start rotting away. That is when life loses its meaning. We say, what's the purpose in life? I mean, look at King Solomon that we just read about not too long ago. He was not only just the wisest man that's ever walked the earth or that will ever walk the earth. He because of his wisdom, he was the richest man. And yet when he lost his purpose and he forgot what God had called him to do, life was meaningless. He wrote that life is meaningless when we don't know what our purpose is. And our purpose will change from season to season. You know, I've got Angie sitting here in front of me, and she's the mama of 6 beautiful children. And I promise you right now, she knows that her purpose in life right now, number 1 is to serve and to love and to follow God with all of her heart. And number 2, she's to be a wife to her husband. And then number 3, she's to raise those 6 children. And she doesn't let anything come in between her and that God-given purpose in her life. And it's very fulfilling. It's hard sometimes. That's why you got to stay prayed up. But it's very fulfilling. David, that's with us today, has had 2 full careers that he fulfilled the purpose for each of those careers. He served our country through the military. He fulfilled that purpose. He retired. He served our country through the United States Postal Service, and he retired, and he fulfilled that purpose. And God has given him a brand new purpose inside of him that he knows what he's supposed to do to be serving, and it's a ministry for him. And I can go around the we're not in a room, obviously. You can hear the birds singing. I can go around to every person. So back to originally what I said. There's not a person born that's not born without purpose. And God is speaking to you. It'll look different for each one of you. Mine is not Carrie's, and Carrie's isn't Larissa's, and Larissa's isn't Angie's. It's not supposed to be. It's as unique as your thumbprint. But today's scriptures will encourage you for whatever it is He's called you to do, whether it's to be a stay-at-home mom, whether it's to be a husband that is providing for his family and to go to work every day and bring that paycheck home and to provide provision and protection for your family, whether it is a career, whether it's a ministry. All of that's a ministry, by the way. You know, there's no such thing as a separation of our ministry. Our ministry is who we are. There's not a day that goes by that Angie's not on alert. She's dropping the kids off at school, and her antennas are going all the time. And if she sees somebody in distress, or God tells her, Angie, go speak, Angie's going to go do that. Her ministry is who she is. That's who we are. So anyway, we all have a purpose inside of us, and we've got some major promises today for whatever it is that He's called you for, whatever season in life you're in. Surely you've got a purpose. I'm so tickled to see you on here with us, and I love having you around us, Shirley. God isn't finished with you yet. He is not finished with any of us yet. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. I don't care where you're at in life. God has a purpose for you. And I can remember those days when I thought, well, God wouldn't use me. I've made too many mistakes. I lived that. It almost sounds cliche when I say it now, except that, see, it'll never be cliche to me because I lived that lie, believing God would never use me because of the mistakes I made. There's those of you that will say, well, I don't have any skills. I haven't heard. I don't know what He wants me to do. And this question is for you. We're in Isaiah 45 through 48 in our one-year daily Bible study. This is September the 25th. This is for this Tuesday. And He's saying to you, do you question what I do for you? Do you question what I do for you? Do you give me orders about the work of my hand? See, we are the work of God's hand. And He's asking us, who are we to question Him? God. Now, I don't know about y'all. That gets my attention. Who am I? Who am I to question God? Then He goes on to say in verse 13, I will raise up Elizabeth to fulfill my righteous purpose, and I will guide her actions. Now, I will raise up Elizabeth. God will raise me up. What's my role in it? I don't have to do anything for God to raise me up except die to self. I just simply have to say, here I am, Lord, use me. I give up my rights to everything to be yours. I'm yours. And when I do that and I mean it, He says to me, this morning God spoke to me and said, Elizabeth, I will raise you up to fulfill my purpose I've put in your life, and I will guide your actions. In the column, I put, God is guiding me. God is guiding me. I don't have to worry about, am I making it right? Am I not making it right? He will guide me. My whole role is to just make sure I'm His. I'm His. He will restore anything that's been taken from me, and He'll do it without seeking a reward. They will come to you, Elizabeth, with all their merchandise, and it will be all yours. Now that speaks to me personally. Let it speak to you personally. Meditate on these words and stop just reading words on a paper. Let the Spirit of God speak to you right where you're at on September the 25th, and let these words speak to you. They will come to you, Elizabeth, with all their merchandise, and it will all be yours. God is with you, and He is the only God. There is no other. He reminds me little tidbits about Himself and who He is. Verse 18, for the Lord is God, and He created the heavens and the earth and put everything into place. Lest you doubt, I mean, He just got through telling me that they'll bring all their merchandise to me, and I'll own it. And it's like He knew that I'd doubt. So He reminds me, I'm the Lord, your God. I created everything and put it all into place. Verse 19, I publicly proclaim bold promises to you, Elizabeth. I don't whisper obscurities in some dark corner. He's speaking to you. These are the scriptures that tells me God is speaking to me every single day. Do I hear Him every single day? I don't. I'm no different than you. I don't always hear, but these words convinces me He's always speaking to me, and I've got to still myself. I've got to be quiet and listen. Listen, the three things I'm telling you guys, I've been saying it for it'll be 3 years come this October, is to pray, because he's a gentleman. He waits on us. Pray, listen, and read. That's the magic formula to this life. Pray, listen, and read. Pray, listen, and read. He's speaking. I publicly proclaim bold promises to you, Elizabeth. I do not whisper obscurities in some dark corner. I would not have told you to seek me if I could not be found. Oh man, that's powerful. Verse 23. I have spoken the truth and I will never go back on my word. Verse 3. I have cared for you, Elizabeth, since you were born. Yes, I carried you before you were born. I will be your God throughout your lifetime. He will never leave me. In those moments when I have prayed and I have stilled myself and I still don't hear, I stand on these promises that he'll never leave me, he'll never forsake me. In those moments, he is carrying me. In those moments, he is my God throughout my entire lifetime until my hair is white with age. I made you, Elizabeth. I will care for you. I will carry you along and save you. Whew. For I alone am God. Verse 9. I am God. There is none like me. Only I can tell you the future before it even happens. See, I wrote in the column. I want to read that again. For I alone am God. I am God, and there is none like me. Only I can tell you the future before it even happens. That implies a promise right there that he will tell me the future before it happens. He will. Larissa and I sat for about an hour last night, and God absolutely poured down bits and pieces about the future for us. I know that was God speaking to us. In the column, I wrote 2018, so I know what year he spoke to me this. God will tell me the future that I need to know. The rest is none of my business, as my friend Donna tells us. He'll tell me what I need to know about my future. The rest of it's none of my business. Before it happens, it will come to pass. Only I can tell you the future before it even happens. Everything I plan for you, Elizabeth, will come to pass, for I do whatever I wish. That is the rest of it's none of my business. I don't even have to know why. I'm not even supposed to ask why. It's none of my business. For I will do whatever I wish. I have said what I would do, and I will do it. Man, he repeats it. Listen to me, Elizabeth, you stubborn people who are so far from doing right, for I am ready to set things right in the distant future. But not in the, I messed that up. Let me start all over. Listen to me, Elizabeth, you stubborn people who are so far from doing right, for I am ready to set things right, not in the distant future, but right now. See, we can have those moments like Larissa and I had when all of this gets downloaded and we think it's all present, future oriented, that, in 3 years. In fact, we have scriptures that said in 3 years. And so we think about 3 years, and we think about next year, and we think about next month, and then we forget the glory of the moment. He's doing it right now. Right now. Not in the distant future. Right now. Are you living heaven on earth right now? If not, you've got an attitude problem. You've got a heart problem. He's given us heaven on earth right now. Jesus has already died to give us everything. Everything.
I love that.
Don't forget about consequences. Verse 7 will talk to you about the consequences. There's consequences when we step outside of the Spirit and we act and we make decisions ourselves. When we wake up in the morning, it's okay, Lord, I'm yours, and then bam, I make a decision without asking him. I make a decision without even checking with him, without even thinking, without being in the Spirit, and bam, I make a decision and I haul off and I change jobs, or I haul off and I buy something I wasn't supposed to buy, or I haul off and say something to somebody that wasn't Spirit-led. There are consequences to that. Consequences in that. Moving on to verse 6. You have heard my predictions, Elizabeth, and seen them fulfilled. That's why I write it down. That's why I write it down. When I'm in doubt and I'm questioning and I'm not hearing him, all I got to go do is go back through my Bibles. I mean, I can pick up any number of Bibles and look and see the glory of God and how he has been with me every step of the way. But you refuse to admit it. Now I will tell you new things. Oh, I love this. Now, he says, I will tell you new things. Secrets you have not yet heard, Deborah. Secrets you have not yet heard. They are brand new, not things from the past, David. Brand new things. So you cannot say we knew that all the time. Lest we should brag, the Bible says. Yes, I will tell you of things that are entirely new. Things you never heard before. This is my 16th year to go through the 1-year Bible. The 1-year Bible. This is the first time these scriptures have spoken to me in this manner. The ones that I'm reading today on September the 25th, 2018. So I started this in 2002, and those scriptures, and I've read these scriptures every year, and this is the first time. Yes, I will tell you of things that are entirely new, things you never heard before. Verse 10, I have refined you, Elizabeth, but not as silver is refined. Rather, Elizabeth, I have refined you in the furnace of suffering. He wastes nothing. There is not one tear wasted from God. I will rescue you for my sake. Yes, my own sake. We were created by him for him. It has nothing to do with me. It's not about me. And I will not share my glory with idols. What a warning he gives me. I will not share my glory with idols. Now, what does that say into Elizabeth? Because these are very personal to me today. He's telling me, check yourself, Elizabeth. What is it that you're spending too much time doing instead of with me? Where are your thoughts going every single day, Elizabeth? Check yourself. Where are the idols in your life? Where are they? Guys, do not let yourself be fooled. We all have idols. Every last one of us. And if you don't know what they are, ask God to reveal them. Because until you know what they are, you can't get rid of them. He will not share his glory with idols. And then the Ephesians. Oh, you guys hear me talk about one a lot. A lot. I've got one in the columns here. I don't know how you can read this and not know that we're not one with him. We're one with him, and if we're one with him, we're one with another. It's how come I can't judge you? Because if I judge you, I'm judging me. We're one. Therefore I, Paul, a prisoner for serving the Lord, beg you, Elizabeth, to lead a life worthy of your calling. You are called. Every one of us are called. For you've been called by God. Always be humble and gentle, Elizabeth. Be patient with each other, making allowance for each other's faults because of your love. Making allowance for each other's faults. Make every effort to keep yourselves united in the Spirit, building yourselves together with peace. Now he's implying oneness right there. But in case we don't get it, for there is one body and one Spirit, just as you've been called to one glorious hope for the future. We are one with him. There is one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all, in all, and living through all. We are one with him. However, he has given each one of us a special gift. Now that's where our differences come in. I'm not gifted the same way Tom is gifted, or Angie, or Larissa, or Carrie. He's given each one of us a special gift. Through the generosity of Christ. I want to go to verse 12. Their responsibility is to equip God's people to do his work and build up the church, the body of Christ. And then I'll end it with verse 15. Instead, we will speak the truth in love. See, if we can't speak in love, then we need to keep our mouths shut. Just letting that sink in a little bit. Growing in every way more and more like Christ. We are to become more like him every single day. Who is the head of his body, the church. We are the church. We are the bride of Christ. Female tense, female gender. He makes the whole body fit together perfectly. Do you see the oneness in that statement? He makes the whole body fit together perfectly. As each part does its own special work with the special gift he's given us, it helps the other parts grow so that the whole body is healthy and growing and full of love. Man, this is a terrific Tuesday. I don't know about y'all. I hope it encouraged you as much as it encourages me. So you guys go out there and you fulfill your purpose. Listen to him because he is guiding you in whatever it is he's called you to do. Greg McGee, I love you. I'm so happy to see you on. Fulfill your purpose, brother. I love you guys.